This is video number 4, teaching video for our Mariage d'Amour. Today we're going to work on the second page, the left hand. This is mostly just all 16th notes and the occasional 8th note. Not too difficult as far as rhythm goes. Mostly your hand's just going to keep climbing up. Start back down at the bottom, climb back up again. It's going to do a lot of that. I'm going to start with the first line of the second page. Your left hand is going to begin on the G below middle C. This is another instance where you'll probably want to spread out your hand a bit. So if you start on the G, the next note is the D, then the G, and the A. So you can do all that with your hand just spread out. I'm doing 5 finger on the G, 3 finger on the D, 2 finger on the G above that, and thumb on the A. And then I'm crossing my 3 finger over to the B flat, and then I'm going to use my thumb on the D after that. So, G, D, G, A, B flat, D. You could cross over your 3rd finger on the A if you preferred, or you could just spread out your hand and do G, D, G, A, then cross over B flat, D. Or you could do G, D, G, cross over on the A, and then you use your 2 finger and your thumb for the B flat, D. Either way. And then the next phrase is very similar, except it's going to add in a few more notes. You still start on the G below middle C with your little finger, and you're going to go G, B flat with your next finger, D, probably with your 2 finger, G with your thumb. Then you can cross over on the A. You're going A, 3 fingers going to be on the A now, 2 finger B flat, and thumb on D. So the whole phrase together, this first measure on the second page is okay. Now the second measure, you're going to go back down to bass clef. You're going to start on the C below middle C. Probably you're going to start again with your little finger on the C. You're going C, G, C. I'd probably just go ahead and use my little finger on the C, my 2 finger on the G, my thumb on the C. Then I'm going to cross my 3 finger over to catch the D that comes next. Then my 2 finger on the E flat and my thumb on the G. And that repeats again exactly the same. So the second measure in total sounds like this. Repeat. Now I think I'll move on to the second line. We're going to go down further now. We're going down to the F, 2 F's below middle C. And we're going to use, it's going to go up higher this time. So we're going to be doing a little bit of, we're going to stretch out our hands and then we're going to cross over and get our hands moved up. So let's start with, let's see. So in total, I'm figuring out which fingering will be best. Yeah. So probably this. All right. We'll start with the little finger on F, then probably a 3 finger on the C, 2 finger on F, thumb on A, to cross over to the middle C. I'm just thinking about which finger is best to use. I'm thinking about a 4-finger instead of a 3. Let's try it. 4-finger on middle C, 3-finger on F, 2-finger on A, thumb on C above middle C. Then there's a little rest, which gives you the chance to move your hand up so your thumb can be on the F, 2 Fs above middle C. And then you're going to come back down, but you can just use a stretched out hand. You're not going to have to cross on the way back down. F with your thumb, 2-finger on C, 4-finger on A, little finger on F, 4-finger on A. So again, that whole measure, that is the 3rd measure on the 2nd page. Now let's go to the 4th measure on the 2nd page. We're going to start on B flat. It's 2 B flats below middle C. We'll use our little finger for that. And then I think let's go, we won't need a crossover on this. It doesn't go up that high. We'll just use a stretched out hand. So little finger on the B flat, 3-finger on F, 2-finger B flat, thumb on D, then back to the B flat, back to the D, and then you could use your 2-finger on the A or the 3, and then we're going to have little finger on D, thumb on C, 2-finger A, thumb on C, 2-finger A, thumb on C, and little finger D. So the whole measure sounds like this. Okay, and that's measure 4. Measure 5. We're going to go to the G, 2 G's below middle C. We're going to have to stretch out our hands and use crossing over because we're going up higher. We're going to start with our little finger on that G, 2 G's below middle C. 3-finger D, 2-finger G, thumb on A, cross your finger over. I think I'll use a 4-finger to cross to the B flat, 2-finger D, thumb G, and then we're going to come back down a little bit, 2-finger D, little finger G, and then we're walking up a bit, 4-finger A, 3-finger B flat, 2-finger D, thumb on G, 2-finger D, 3-finger or 4-finger B flat, little finger G. So that whole measure, measure 5 of the 2nd page sounds like this. All 16th notes. Now, measure 6 of the 2nd page. We're going to be starting on the C below middle C. And this one is similar to measure 2, but not exactly the same, but very similar. So we're going to go little finger on the C, 3-finger G, 2-finger C, thumb on D. I'll probably use my 4-finger to cross over to E flat, 2-finger G, thumb on C. And then we're going to go back to the C below middle C, C, G, C, D with a stretched out hand. Then you can cross over to the E flat with either the 4 or the 3. And then thumb on G is how we end up. So that whole measure sounds like now the 7th measure, 2nd page. We're going to start back on F, 2 F's below middle C. This is similar to the third measure, but not quite the same. We're going to use the spread out hand and crossing over because we're going up higher. We'll start with little finger on F, 3 finger C, 2 finger F, thumb on A, cross over either third or fourth finger on middle C, 2 finger F, thumb on A. Then we have a little rest and we can reset our hand a little bit higher. I would probably use my 3 finger on the what's it? How can we have no? Yeah, C. So I'll have a 3 finger on C, and then thumb on F, then 3 finger back to C, and then little finger on A. So that whole measure will sound like, reset the hand. Okay, and then the 8th measure of the second page, we're going to go to B flat, 2 B flats below middle C, and this measure is similar to measure 4, not quite the same again. We'll start with our little finger on that B flat. We'll use a stretched out hand. We won't need to cross over. So then little finger, then 3 finger on F, 2 finger B flat, thumb on D, going back to 2 finger on B flat, thumb on D, 2 finger or 3 on A, and then little finger D, thumb C, 2 finger A, 3 finger F sharp, thumb C, 2 finger A, thumb D, 2 finger C. So that whole measure sounds like and play the whole thing and pause a little bit between each line. This is the first line of the second page, left hand only, starting on the G below middle C. Second line, starting on 2 F's below middle C. Third line, second page, left hand, starting on the 2 G's below middle C. Now fourth line of the second page, starting on 2 F's below middle C. And that's the second page, left hand.